Hey, welcome to the Skinergy Squad podcast with your captain, Kristen Heath, and let's not forget, head cheerleader, Cindy Grossman. Let's go. You always get that panic, right? Where you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm on, where is she? Or she's on, where am I?
Listen, next time I'm going to slow click it.
Oh, okay.
So you can be the first one that everybody sees. That's the face that I would want to see first thing.
Oh, you're too
Lucky Mr. Mitch. Anyways, how's your day? How was your weekend? Happy Monday.
Very good. Good weekend. We had anybody out there who's done it will know. We had what's called a driveway garage sale. And we worked hard.
We should have taken pictures. I didn't take one single picture. We were too busy selling.
Right. It was fun. And don't get too comfortable, but there will be another one in the fall. So maybe we'll have to let more people know about it. So.
Oh, indeed. You're correct, Kristen. Mr. Mitch Goldman.
Yes.
Hi, Mitch. Thank you for always supporting our podcast. I think that the craziest thing that happened during that whole garage sale was when those two road rager people, for those that are watching, it's in a community and the speed limit's
55 and over.
Yeah, and the speed limit's 25. And I guess somebody was driving slow or fast. Who knows? We don't know the situation. But they pulled up right in front of the house, screaming and cussing. And we probably had 15 people on the driveway. Like, it was intense. I was like, oh my, because you never know nowadays. You see people like on the news, like shootings because of road rage or this, that, and the third. Like, that was intense.
And you're not used to seeing that. And I think it still shocks me. Every
and then
time
your neighbor in that neighborhood, especially, that's not something you would see. Maybe like a golf cart little rage, but
speaking of golf cart rage, did you hear about that 74-year-old man who shot a golfer who was on the golf course?
Yes, I think
he was golfing, and
the 74-year-old.
Yes, and then there was a man with a dog. And he shot the man with the dog because he was on the golf course. This happened in Delray Beach. I'm telling you.
Wait, did he think he was coming after him?
No, I guess he was just angry that him and the dog, he was walking the dog on the golf course. Yeah.
Crazy.
Intense.
Yes. Intense. But another thing that I really enjoyed about that driveway sale is seeing the way that your dad just like interacted with people. Like it just like made me think, because obviously I didn't know him when you guys lived in New York and he had his business, but he's such a businessman. It's like in his soul to like wheel and deal, and he's always
chat it up, likes to
definitely
chat it up.
So I love that a bunch of women and men have some new things, and it just feels good. Like, and I was so surprised, like I brought some stuff and I literally was going to donate it like for free. And so it's nice.
It's just an opportunity. Yeah.
Not something I would do every weekend, but it was nice.
No. We'll do it again in the fall.
Twice a year.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Definitely. So what did you do? Anything Sunday?
Sunday was a walk day, a ride bikes day, a swim day. It was an exercise day.
Which is why you have all those great exercising clothes.
Yeah. Can never have enough leggings and sports bras. It's all about the sports bra.
That's why there is those companies that make a killing.
That's right. Exactly.
Hey ladies, what about those Yankees? Oh, funny you should mention. We'll get right to the Yankees in a little bit. See, Cindy, I told you. Our viewers care.
That's right. Excellent. Yeah, they actually won 9 in a row.
Yes. And then I just want to say that if you're not already, please subscribe to us on YouTube and click that bell to stay notified. And if you have Twitch, you can always watch us on Twitch. And if you are local to the area, you can come visit us or make an appointment at the moment and in Satellite Beach. So, and also Facebook, the Skinergy Squad, or Cindy and I have personal Facebooks if you ever need to get a hold of us. But without further ado, it's that time. National holidays we always seem to forget about.
Dun, 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 dun.
We have a lot coming up this week.
A lot coming up. So believe it or not, today was International Harry Potter Day for all you Harry Potter fans. And this one kind of near and dear to me, unfortunately, Melanoma Monday. Yeah, yeah. National Brothers and Sisters Day. Be sure to get in touch with your brothers and your sisters. National Life Insurance Day. Hey, shout out to those life insurance people, right? It is Dwayne Johnson's birthday today. Gotta love The
Woo!
Rock. Everybody loves The Rock. Yeah, he's a good guy. It's also Yom HaZikaron tomorrow. That is Israel's Independence Day. So you can celebrate that. It's National Teacher Day tomorrow. It's National Garden Meditation Day. Everybody sit in your
Wait, so
garden.
do you garden and meditate at the same time, or you sit
No,
in your
you go
garden and meditate?
into your garden and you zen at the garden.
Do you have a
Yes.
garden?
Yes, I would call it a garden. Yeah, I have some flowers. Yeah, a few. It's National Foster Care Day tomorrow. So that's also a very important one. And I know Jen, who's our guest today, has a podcast coming up all about that. So looking forward to that. It's also tomorrow, National Chocolate Custard Day. I am a fan, I must say. Then going on the 4th, it's Orange Juice Day. Love some fresh squeezed orange juice.
In my
It's
mimosa, in
Oh,
my
yeah.
champagne.
There you go, for sure. Then it's Renewal Day. I guess a day to renew. Star Wars Day for all our Star Wars fans. It's National Nurses Week, so shout out to those nurses. And then, of course, on Thursday, Cinco de Mayo. Everybody get your margaritas in. I'm curious if people could tell me a really great place to go, because I actually convinced my husband to go out on Cinco de Mayo. So if anybody has a good place, yeah. Woo!
Are you guys
Then
going to have a margarita?
I don't like margaritas, so I'll probably have a sangria. Oh, now this is a good one. On Friday. Now, if you were still Zooming, you could probably be able to do this for work. It's No Pants Day. Don't wear pants. No pants. It's also Beverage Day. Have your favorite beverage. It's Military Spouse Appreciation Day. That's important. Everybody should always appreciate their spouses. And that's about it for the week. You know, the highlights of those holidays you just always see.
Why didn't you say Mother's Day?
Because that's Sunday and we usually do the week after.
Oh.
But if you want to include
that's
that
true.
Sunday,
No,
you
you're
can do
right.
that. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. We can include that day.
It's been a long one.
Sunday, May 8th. May 8th.
We can't forget May 8th. Yes, Cindy's birthday. Don't worry, we're going to have a whole special.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Definitely.
Wouldn't want you to forget my birthday.
We would never.
Okay.
So I'll put in my little Sebastian for the week. You know, he's
Yes.
getting big. And today he had a little boo-boo at school with hitting. So we'll work on it. But this is my little clip of the day. If you want to see a little Sebastian clip. My next sugaring client. So, yes, he is
so cute.
On Sunday. I didn't get to mention my weekend. So Sunday, as you know, we had the blow up pool and he loved it, going down the slide. And it's just so exciting to see him grow and get bigger. I know they always say like time flies, and I'm not rushing him to be, grown, but I do like him getting his little independence, and he's like my little buddy. So I can do without the whining though, but I'm sure I have lots of whining in my future. So he kind of started the little tantrums too when he doesn't get his way.
Oh, yes. I saw that on Saturday.
So, but I just have to work on it with him. I did like I signed up for this like parenting thing, and me and actually my mom were listening to it. It's like little clips from these two ladies. One is like a behavioral kind of specialist with children, and one is like a therapist like that does like speech and occupation. And they've been on like Good Morning America and all that kind of stuff. And we started it. We have to get back into it because they talk about, the tantrums, the hitting, the biting, the eating, a lot of good stuff. So, yeah. But anyways, that was my weekend, my little Sebastian.
He's
So
doing good.
we got to talk about our New York Yankees.
Yes, I said it, 9 in a row. Best record in baseball
Right now.
right now. Yes.
Yes.
As
So,
we speak.
Let's put this up there.
Oh God.
That's our Cindy Grossman and Paul O'Neill. Everyone get in, look in that photo. That's Mr. Paul O'Neill with Cindy.
Yes. That's right. I stalked
Give
him
us the
all through New
story
York.
of that photo. Let's hear the story of that photo one more time for those who.
So I worked at Roosevelt Field Mall. I was a manager in Nordstrom at that mall. And I had a connection with Steiner Sports. And they're very famous for their memorabilia and all kinds of stuff. So he would come in with his wife, buy her jewelry and all kinds of stuff. And he would tell me like who was coming to the store to sign autographs. So he told me, he goes, listen, Paul O'Neill's coming. I said, what? Paul O'Neill is my ultimate favorite. So I said, well, you got to hook me up. I want the jersey signed. I want this. I want that. He's like, okay, just come over. I'll call you before, like right before it starts, because they line up. It's like crazy. So I went there and I had to have a picture. So I got
Wait, so let me go back to that's what you were wearing at work? Like that's you came over from your store?
I probably had a jacket on over that. And I was like, hey, Paul O'Neill, hello. Hello. Now, we have a history, me and Paul. I had stalked him in an Italian restaurant in Yonkers also that he walked into with his wife. I tried to wait till he was finished with his dinner, though, till I went over.
So you went up to him?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What'd you say?
I was like, I'm one of your biggest fans. I'd love an autograph. And I think he gave me, or I just went over to tell him I thought he was a great baseball
You should have got
player.
Another picture. That would have been really nice.
I don't think his wife would have appreciated that.
That comes with the job.
Yeah. But just like when I saw A-Rod in the elevator that time and we were
that was a little different.
I did not give away his identity. I just whispered to him and I mouthed it out. I'm a big fan. And he was like,
did he say anything back?
Yeah, he's like,
oh, you got a wink.
Well, I don't know. He was wearing dark Ray-Ban sunglasses, so I don't think I got a wink. Probably got a smile.
You have such a great memory.
Oh, are you kidding? I met Jorge Posada at Neiman Marcus down south. Yeah, definitely. Quite a few people.
You just got an autograph when we went to the other game.
Right. Yeah. Well, there I was a little pushy. I pushed this little 5-year-old kid out of the way to get it. No, not really.
Okay, so I have a few little Yankee questions. Just a few. To quiz you. Okay?
All right.
Which player appeared, it's multiple choice, which player appeared in the most games all time as a Yankee? Do you know offhand before multiple choice?
No, let me have the...
Derek Jeter, Yogi, or Mickey Mantle?
I'm going to have to say Yogi.
Are you sure? Final answer? Sorry, you're incorrect. That would have been Derek Jeter.
Really? Wow.
How could you have forgot that?
I mean, I know he played for them for 20 years, but don't forget, Yogi Berra was a manager, a coach, So if you accumulate all those games, that's what I was thinking about.
But I mean, he wasn't a player then.
No, not that long, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek.
Okay, next question. Which Yankee legend collected at least 170 RBIs in 3 different seasons? Multiple choice. Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, or Joe DiMaggio?
I'm gonna have to say
170
70
RBIs.
RBIs. That's a lot. Today you're lucky they get to 100. Lou Gehrig, who did not play that many years because he got sick. Joe
Look at
DiMaggio.
you. You're like breaking. I feel like we're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Joe DiMaggio. And who was the other one?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth. I'm going to have to say Babe Ruth.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. We'll do last question because I don't want to bore people. The Yankees share a birthday. This Yankee shares a birthday with Keanu Reeves.
Who would
Chapman,
know that?
Gary Sanchez, or Ronald Torres. Torres? Yeah. I don't think Gary Sanchez should count because he's no longer a Yankee.
Well, you know I like Chappie. Maybe Chappie.
Ronald Torres. Is it Torres? Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah, Torres. Who even heard of him? He probably played 3 games. Bad questions.
It's okay. We all know you love the Yankees. What do you think about who's your player right now that you feel like is hitting it out of the park? All-star, shocking you?
Well, my judge has been showing up the whole. But we got to talk about Rizzo. Rizzo, he's doing great. Rizzo, you know, he had cancer and he survived and he came back strong.
We have our thank God he wasn't here for the Yankee questions.
I'm sure he was.
He's on the Philly. This was a questionnaire from MLB guys, so I'm sorry.
Good.
So what were you saying, Rizzo?
Rizzo, he's hot right now. Yeah.
You forgot to mention your guy that potentially could be coming, maybe not.
Well, since Gallo is on the injured list, there's a chance. Gardy might come back. I just want to see the guy come back and play his last year with the Yankees. That's all.
Why do you love Gardy so much?
I love Gardy because Gardy, like O'Neill, they play with heart. You got to have heart. Remind me to play you that song. You got to have heart. You could be a great baseball player, but if you don't have the heart and soul into the game.
So right now, who on the Yankees would you say has heart? That plays. Really?
Maybe Rizzo. Maybe Rizzo.
You think?
I think he's really happy to be there. I want to think Judge, but that whole thing with this salary kind of turned me off. You know, that's a little bit hard to swallow, but I'm getting over it.
Gardy's not coming back.
Don't say that.
You should mention Stan had a great catch this game. For those that are
yeah. He did. He had an amazing catch in right field.
Which was you said that to me, which is surprising because you're kind of a Stan hater.
I'm not, but you could tell when he made that leap to catch that ball, he was going. That was for the haters who say I can't, field. So that was good. I was proud.
Definitely. Well, I'm kind of proud of Gleyber Torres. He's, pretty
stepping it up.
Yeah. I feel like some of those end of the line guys play with heart because I feel like, they have to kind of.
How about our kind of Khalifa? He's showing up. Yeah. Donaldson, he's got to work himself through, but I think we have a strong team. And DJ LeMahieu, they're good. They're good players.
What about our pitchers?
Yeah, Cole finally showed up this season, so we're happy about that. Yeah.
I didn't expect them. I knew obviously they were going to do well, but I'm really like a few weeks ago I was a little worried, but now they're playing like I feel like they should play every game. So let's not talk too much because Yankee people are very superstitious, so I don't want to start jinxing them. But I did have to represent with my Yankees cup, my
Nice.
Yankees shirt today.
Wow. That's quite
We'll see the
an
Yankees
ensemble
playing
you
in a
have.
few weeks, definitely. But anyways, let's talk about our guest tonight. Hit it, Cindy.
Yes.
Talk about you can give us like because she was also on your radio show, and for those that don't know, Cindy has a radio show.
Mesmerize the mirror at any age. It really helps. It really helps women entrepreneurs help women entrepreneurs. So I'm always looking for guests. So give me a shout out if you're interested in being on. We tape down in Vero Beach, but we also are allowed to take, phone calls. We can communicate through a call. Yes, Jen Lee was on the radio show. It was a great show. What I do want to say is it's funny. I feel like we took a little time off from networking. And then when I went back, I was lucky enough to meet Jen Lee. And it was, I guess, kind of, there's women out there that networking, but when you make a connection, it's like you make a good connection. Like you could understand each other, like you kind of come from the same place. She did a lot of retail management. I was very much retail management. And we just made this connection. And I started talking about, everything she did and what she's doing now. And it's been a really nice getting to know you time for us.
And
So
now we see Jen Lee everywhere, and it's amazing. It's just like a friendly face when you like walk into a room or you're in a room and she walks in. It's like somebody else I know, and we like
right,
you.
right.
So anyways, so here is the beautiful Miss Jen Lee. Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
thank you so much.
absolutely.
It is very nice to see you at places. I remember Cindy met you, I think like a day before I met you, or at least a meeting or two before I met you. And she called me and she's like, I met this Jen Lee and she's so nice. Are you there? Okay. She was like, she's so nice. And I think you guys had back-to-back meetings that day or networking and sat next to each other both times. It was just funny. So she's like, you have to meet her. So when I met you at that luncheon, it was so nice. You're like very personable and like easy to talk to. And, some of the people that you meet at the networking, it's not always easy to like, kind of relate to, but.
Well,
Right.
thank you so much. I have to
Mhm.
tell you, I'm disappointed though. I did not know about Cindy's garage sale, and I love garage sales. I
Oh,
love them. My husband and I, we will like go out Saturday. We have a path. We have a path that we follow.
See,
oh.
I said to Cindy that it was in a community, like we said, it was not Cindy's community, but her parents' community. And like half of the community did it last Saturday and the other half do it this coming. So you may
This
want to check it
Saturday,
out. And
right?
it's like a gated, but they let people in and you get a
Oh,
map
yes.
and they have
Yeah.
signs. And like I drove by early in the morning and I mean, I was like, wow, like if we weren't busy, I would have went and checked them out. It was really nice. So when we do it in the fall, we'll probably make our own little flyer and put it out there. So
Definitely.
Cindy has some amazing things. I was like, snag, snag, snag. Like, anybody would be happy to have Cindy's garage sale items. I've been to a few garage sales and there's a bunch of like, you know, she
Yeah.
has stuff that you want. I'm telling you, like, ladies came back twice because they wanted more stuff.
Wow.
So,
That's good.
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
Keep me posted.
we will
for
keep you
sure.
posted.
Yeah.
So
For
for
sure.
those we didn't mention it, Jen Lee has her own podcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your podcast, the name, how you came up with the name?
Sure. It's called I Need Blue. A decade ago, I became a survivor of the armed robbery and abduction. And so I decided to start a podcast for other survivors of what I call life trauma. When asked, Jen, how did you all escape? I said we didn't. We were rescued by law enforcement, hence the name I Need Blue. That's kind of how it all came about.
I love it. Definitely. So, um, and not only do you have a great podcast, I know we mentioned you're very involved in the podcasting world, and me and Cindy are more new. So I love to like pick your brain and, learn. I didn't even know there were conferences and like all this kinds of stuff. So it's exciting. But why don't you share your story about, you know, how you were a survivor?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I can do that. I'll give you kind of the shortened version so we have time to like chit chat
okay.
about
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff because, we love that. So, like I said, it was a decade ago. And at that time, I was store manager of a women's clothing store. It was a Saturday, 7 p.m. It was still light outside. Our store was located in a strip center. So I had like a Target on one side, Best Buy on the other. Basically, I tell this because it was very busy. Saturday night, busy, right? I'm in the fitting room area, which is located in the center of the store. And behind me, I hear, give me all your money. And I stopped and I was like, I'm used to hearing, can you zip me up? Does this look good? Right? So I didn't say anything. And again, I hear, give me all your money. So I turn around and I see a gun pointed at me. And then I look up and I see a man with a mask on. And I look back down at the gun. And at that point, I just turn and I head towards the register area. I can see the robber wave the gun for the other people in the store to follow. So, yes, I was not alone. There was a total of 9 of us, including children, that were there during this whole incident. So I get to the register. We had 2 tills. He has the people kind of off to one side of the register area. I remember I cleaned out the bills out of the till and then I took it and I did this like little Vanna White thing over the change to see if he wanted the loose coins or not. And he said no. And then I go over to the other register and I clean that out as well. But I hear everything was going on to the left of me. And I could hear the gentleman say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Shh. Another customer shushed him because he was loud and they were trying to not disrupt the robber. I I do. There were children and I remember their kind of the little panic and the mother trying to console them but yet be quiet at the same time. Can you imagine being a mom trying to console your children but yet you can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
So he takes their money as well. So at this point, he has all of our money and he sees a door that goes to the back room. And he asks me, he says, What's that? And I said, Well, that goes to our back room where like my desk is, things like that. And instinctually, I kind of had a feeling that that's where he was going to put us. He asked me another question. Where's your safe? And we didn't have a safe. And that's what I told him. I said, We don't have one. The most interesting thing happened to me during that time is it's almost as though I had this out of body experience to where these strangers had become my family, like my children. I didn't realize that outside of the store, I was a mom and I was an aunt and a friend, all of these things. It didn't matter. At that point, I literally had this intense need that I had to protect these people. I also knew that the robber had all of our money, so what more does he want? Sure enough, he told us to go to the back room. I had the other people go in front of me because with that intense need to protect, if he wanted to hurt somebody, I needed it to be me. It wasn't I wanted it to be me. I needed it to be me because I wasn't going to be able to live with the fact of anything happening to these people. So we make our way around to the back and he stops me and he asks me again, Where's your safe? I again told him, I said, I don't have one. But I was concerned because he's now asked me the same question twice, and I've given him an answer that I know he's not happy with, and I'm concerned that he doesn't believe me. We're in the back room in front of my desk. He has me pull the landline out of the wall, which I always say dates my story because how many people have a landline nowadays, right? And then he asked for our cell phones. And I watched the other customers give up their cell phones. I still had mine in my pocket, my pants pocket. There was a newly constructed room that was built back there for the district. We put hangers, fixtures, things like that in there. He asked about it, and I knew that that's where he was going to put us next. And I also knew when I turned to go in that room, the outline of my cell phone would show through my pants. So I relinquished my cell phone as well. Again, I had them go first into the room, and we are all lined up against the back wall. And I have to tell you, it's amazing the things that as I recall and tell my story, the things that I remember. Like I with my eyes open, I can vividly see where I was standing in the box of hangers that my butt was sitting on and left an imprint. Like I remember it all. But he is in this room with us. We're lined up against the back wall. There's children crying. The gentleman is praying again, not quite as loud. And he asked me something that was weird about the door, about if it shuts or if it locks. I remember thinking that was an odd question, but the answer was we had never shut that door. And we hadn't. We had no need to. Then he looks at all of us and he points the gun and he says, "Don't say anything and nobody will get hurt." Of course, nobody said anything. And he goes over to the door and he looks at us and he says one more time, "Don't say anything and nobody will get hurt." And at that point, he pulls the door shut. And I remember the sound of the wood scraping because the door had never been shut. And I remember that sound. So we are now in this room. And I look over at one of the customers I had been helping, and she was starting to have a panic attack. And I go over to her, and I remember taking my hands like this, and I've got her arms, and I'm pushing her up against the wall, kind of pinning her there. And I look in her eyes, and I just remember saying, "Baby, I need you to stay with me. I breathe. Anything I could possibly do to get her to remain calm." But slowly, I feel the weight of her body start to go down. I called the gentleman over. I was like, "I need help." I was like, "She's going to fall." So in the process of all of that going on, I hear the front doorbell go off. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, the robber left. That's great. And I'll tell you, it's amazing. Your senses, they go in this hyperactive mode of things that I remembered, that I heard. It was really bizarre. Anyway, we now have this lady on the ground, and her panic attack is progressively getting worse. And it's a very helpless feeling to try to watch somebody, especially because when you panic, you feel like you can't breathe, which is a horrifying feeling for her anyway. And I didn't know what to do to help her. I hear the doorbell again. So now I have two doorbells. And so I was like, I don't know what's going on outside this door. My sales associate fortunately hid her cell phone in her bra and she pulled it out. And I looked at her and I said, "You need to get behind me and I need you to call 911." I told her to get behind me because I heard two doorbells. I didn't know who was in the store. And if the robber opened that door, I did not want him to see her on her phone. She called 911, spoke with them, hung up. I told her, I was like, "Put your phone away." Now this lady starts to have a seizure. So like I know how to put on a Band-Aid. I'm not a McDreamy fan. I'm not ER. I'm none of those things, right? No, not for me. Now I'm really out of my element. And I'm like, okay, I've got customers kind of telling me like, "Well, you need to do this and you need to do that." And people are like, "Jen, when did you panic? Like, did you panic?" And in that moment, the moment she started to have that seizure is the moment that panic started to set in, started to take over. and I had to choke it down. And I told my sales associate, I was like, I need your phone. I didn't care if the robber was in the store and he pushed open that door. At this point, I had no choice. I needed to help this lady. And then I hear the doorbell again. So I have 3 doorbells now. I get 911 on the phone. And I will tell you, I have the utmost respect for a 911 dispatcher and was honored when I was able to interview one for my podcast. But she kept me calm and she walked me through what this hysterical situation, and all she had was my voice to go on and whatever words I could come up with to describe all of this. And I'm just amazed and very thankful for her. A few seconds later, or minutes, honestly, I don't know how long it was, the door pushes open. And for a quick second, there was fear because I thought it was going to be the robber. But no, it was law enforcement. They were there. And as somebody who had been thrust into my situation of really having to be this caregiver, this protector, to have law enforcement finally enter that room, who are the ultimate protectors, and to take that responsibility off my shoulders was amazing. And it was like we all could finally breathe again. So that is truly why my podcast is called I Need Blue. They rescued us, but they helped me a lot.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
I'm sure. Does it get easier or like harder because you relive it every time you tell the story? I've wanted to ask you because I know that you've obviously shared it in meetings and on your podcast and with people. So like sometimes for people with trauma, if they talk about it, it kind of helps. And then for others, it's like reliving it over and over and over.
I appreciate you asking that question. And I just recently did a talk where I literally went through the whole thing. And I talked for like a half hour. And I did it in front of like 50 people, which was the first time for me, right? So that was a whole new thing. But you're so right, because when I tell my story, especially to that degree, I literally am in the moment. And before we got started today, I had a half hour where I was just by myself and just kind of quiet, getting ready, because I have to get myself in a certain place for me to actually sit down and talk. But I really appreciate that question, because what I didn't realize, Kirsten, is afterwards I left with a feeling of being proud that I could stand up in front of people and share my story, right? That was huge for me in itself. But on the same token, I wanted to cry. I wanted to bawl. Like, it was like a double-edged sword. I came home. My husband's like, how was it? And I said, it was great. I said, but I really want to cry. I said, I'm not going to cry because I feel like then I defeat this whole feeling of like, wow, you did great, right? But I didn't understand that. I wasn't expecting that. And even right now, it brings emotion to me because
Yeah, I could tell like as you're telling your
Of
story,
course.
like you're
Yes.
like putting yourself. And I mean, by no means have I ever had to live through something quite as traumatic, but last year I was in a pretty traumatizing car accident. And so even just like talking about it, or sometimes like when I go through that intersection again and I'm back in that moment where I saw the car like coming towards my car, and then just like all the things that happened after that, like it kind of makes you emotional. And like for me, like all the after effects, like of how it affected, like even just something as, you know, I don't want to say as simple as a car accident, but something like that, all the things that it affected and how my life is so different because of that. So like I just like, you know, imagine, you know, having to put yourself back, because I mean it was a trauma, and to have to relive that trauma and put yourself back into it, like I can't imagine. So I'm glad that you have, you know, things that you have learned to do to help cope with that, because like I mean I get emotional for you, so I can only imagine. And I mean, I listened to it and I was just like, whoa. And then to hear you, and I've heard it. So then to hear it again, it's like every time it doesn't get easier. So it's
right.
like, we appreciate you sharing with us. And I think the
Yes.
positive of that is people that maybe haven't shared their trauma, not to say you need to share and relive it over and over, but to give them a space to be able to share and to be able to, because I do feel like there is a healing in talking about it, to talk
Yeah,
about your trauma and not be alone in it. So,
I agree. And I think and this is for anybody who's maybe afraid to speak up. Here's what I learned is it's very different for me. Even being here, I'm in my little studio, I'm in my cocoon, right? But when you're standing in front of people who can see you, who can see your facial expressions, who know what you look like and whatnot, you feel very vulnerable when you open up and you share your story and you share your trauma and the things that you've been through. And you walk away like, oh, what did they think? Oh, God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had one lady say, gosh, I listened to your podcast, but you weren't what I expected. I wasn't sure how to take that.
yeah.
Well, at least she listened to my podcast. That's positive.
It's always like that fear of being judged. And even,
Yes.
with certain traumas, like people don't normally choose to put themselves in that position. So it's like you would never think people would judge you for that, but people judge people for the silliest things. And I think another important thing to mention when talking about trauma is there isn't like a definition. It's not like, I mean, obviously there's a definition of trauma, but
It's not
that
one
nobody
size
can,
fits all.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Nobody can say that's trauma, that's not trauma. You don't have trauma. Like everybody's trauma is different. And so I think that's very important that people realize that, not to minimize what they go through. And I
Yes,
think
not to
it's,
compare.
Right. Because everybody has a different feeling of what
Yeah.
they've gone through, of course.
Yeah. In fact, when I first started my podcast, I had to like remind myself that because one of my guests after me, he also had robbery, but unfortunately, he lost employees. They were executed in front of him.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like, what am I so afraid of? You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. And then I had to take a step back and say, wait a second, Jen, this is your story. This is your trauma. And it's okay.
Hmm.
Like it's not, his isn't worse than yours or anything like that. Everybody has their own story, like, like you said. But, I guess what I'm going to say to both of you ladies, as a survivor who speaks about it, I know you've had friends, family members come to you and confide in you about things that they have been through. And I want to tell you how much they trust you and how much of a testament it is to you because it's not easy for us to talk about it and to figure out who we can trust to talk about it. So, from survivors or your friends, whoever, I'm going to say thank you for them and thank you for, being there to help other people as well. And even with your podcast and whatnot, it all makes a difference. You've given me time to talk, and I appreciate that.
No, I
me and
think it's
Cindy.
very important.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's very important. I mean, we live in a very small community, and I think it's very important that we support each other and we're there for each other. Especially, of course, we know recent events that have occurred here, and it's just we have to raise an awareness. That's for sure. No one is alone. Nobody has to, go through things alone. There's a lot of support, and I know your podcast. You have a lot of support mechanisms that you share on your website as well. Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really important is that I have the survivor story, but I provide a resource, whether it be local, national, international organizations. And there's also a Get Help tab immediately, national hotlines, local guests that have been on there if people need to find their information. Because somebody listening, just like somebody listening to your show tonight, they might be like, oh, wow, I felt that, or I've seen my friend go through that, or whatever. And they knew something maybe wasn't right, but just didn't really know what it was or where to go to get help or seek assistance. And so the goal is always to ultimately, at the end of the day, to help, right?
Right. That's for sure.
And I think what you offer people is the more specific, because I know that I've been in situations that I didn't. One part of my job, when I went to school to be an esthetician, you learn a lot of things, but they don't teach you that you're kind of, when you're in that room and you're in that space and somebody's already, maybe vulnerable with their bodies, doing a service, that I almost feel like, and I don't mean to laugh, but it's almost like when they drop their pants, it's like their heart opens, and like I almost become like a little 30-minute therapy session. And like
Yes.
sometimes I have to, like, at the end of the day, kind of just like, but like I listen a lot and I don't always have the right answers. And that's something, and a lot of times there isn't like an answer, but at least now I have from you, like, have resources if I feel like somebody's in a situation, because that's, I think, where I come in. It's like how to help somebody, and you can't always help everybody. You can't always fix everybody. And sometimes people just need like an ear for someone to listen. They don't need someone to fix their problems. So it just like kind of been interesting for me adjusting to all of that, like I never expected some of the things I've heard and the stories. And sometimes it catches me off guard. You ask somebody, what's the question everybody asks? How are you doing? How's your day? And I mean, I have, sometimes you hope to just get the generic, I'm doing good. But you get the client that comes in that just lays it all out. Then I'm like, I turn around to get my sugar. I'm just like, okay, come back, and it's just like, it's a lot. So, but like, that's something that's very important to me. I never, I never want my clients to feel rushed. I never want them to feel like, to me, the service that I provide and the level of comfort that I give my clients is way more important. The quality of my service is more important than the quantity any day for me. So I feel honored, like you said, that my clients feel safe to talk to me and to share with me what's going on in their life. So
Yeah, it says a lot about you. And sometimes, maybe you took it for granted before, like, oh, okay, whatever. But no, there's something in you that they see, that they can, as you put it, drop their pants and then open their heart at the same time.
that's it. That if I ever had to get another job, that would be a definite skill I would put on my resume.
For sure. No, they trust you, and I think they also want to hear some type of feedback, and knowing you and your personality, you pretty much lay it out for them and kind of tell them how you feel, and maybe give them a point or two of what they should or shouldn't do. Yeah.
And sometimes people need that. Sometimes people like, and this is the hard thing. I know we're kind of getting off topic, but sometimes people know the right thing. They know what they need to do and they just don't do it. And sometimes they need to hear it from somebody else, whether it's a stranger, sometimes it's better to hear it from a stranger. I think that's why sometimes people go to therapy, because they need that kind of like realization that maybe their friend or their family or their husband or wife have been telling them. But when they hear it from someone else, they're like, wow, like this person doesn't even know me and they're saying the same thing. Maybe it's right. So I definitely, so for people that are listening or maybe, tune in later, if they hear this and they, feel like maybe they need resources or want to talk to you, Jen, what is the best way to contact you?
You can go to my website. Literally, then everything is there: resources, contact page, pictures, all the episodes, whatever you want. So it's www.ineedblue.net.
.net. That's the
Yep.
important part. And your website is very easy to maneuver. Like I went on today and I was just like, wow. And you're like on season 2 of your podcast and all that fun stuff. So I want to switch. We do this little fun question for our guest. So we have 5 little, I should come up with like a little name for this segment of the show. But so our first question for you, Jen Lee. It's so hard to say your name and not say it together. I try very hard, but like Jen Lee just goes together. And when I first met you, I asked Cindy, I was like, oh, is that like her name, Jen Lee? And she's like, yes. But I'm like, you know how some people are like, I don't know, like
Sue Ann.
yes. Well, no, that's kind of odd to me.
Madonna.
But like, No, come on, guys.
Oh.
Like Marianne may be her first name, but that's like 2, or like
Right.
Amber
Oh.
Rose. That's like it's sometimes like hyphenated. So I thought like maybe her name was like Jen Lee McCormick. I don't know. Like, like I thought like Jen Lee was like her name. But anyways, sorry
Nope.
about that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so first question, Jen. What is your ideal Friday night?
I was gonna say garage sailing at Cindy's, but actually, I would love if I could like spend time with my boys, and we love to play cards. We love to play poker for quarters. Go big or say home. Yep.
Have you ever played the game Left, Right, Center?
Oh, I have heard of that, but no.
You guys should look into it if you like kind of like the gambling but car, and it's a fast game. It's quick, so you should look into it. Left, right, center. So, that's a good Friday night.
Yep.
Okay, next question. If you could spend the day with any famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Gosh.
Do you want to come back to it?
No, I picked Donnie Wahlberg because he was supposed to marry me, but he married Jenny McCarthy instead. It was the wrong Jenny.
Oh. Have you ever seen Where Are the Wahlbergs, or that show that they did?
No, I didn't.
They have the hamburger place in Orlando. Yes.
Oh, they closed down. We were gonna.
They closed the one in Orlando?
They
Really?
both of them. Wahlburgers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wahlburger.
He was my crush, so why not?
That's all right. Cindy's recently
Now-
showed me some of her crushes, and they look like
Now-
Grandpa.
No, I have to tell you, I watch Blue Bloods. He's on Blue Bloods. I love him on Blue Bloods. He's great.
Yeah.
That's a great show, by the way.
Mhm.
Friday nights at 10 p.m. on CBS. Just give them a little plug.
If you need something to do on Friday night. So next question, Jen. Do you collect anything?
When we travel, I like to collect a magnet in a picture frame. Yep,
Picture frame, that's a different one.
Yep, I have all my magnets from different places we've been, and I have a little picture that the magnet holds up, and I just made a board, so I have a little board with everywhere we've been and the magnet.
Aww.
That's nice.
That's cute. Cindy, do you have anything from your trips that you've been? Do you like?
Well, you know me. There's nothing sentimental, that I
Now you
hold
just get
on
a baby
to.
shirt wherever you go. Sebastian had a shirt. Cindy gave Sebastian a shirt that said, my first time in St. Augustine, and he wore it to school, and the teacher was like, oh, did he go to blah blah blah, and I'm like, he's never been to St. Augustine. I'm surprised you didn't bring back my time in Nassau. I remember as a kid, when you go on cruises, Nassau is like always the first place.
Right.
So for the longest time we kept getting them, but then we don't even get off the boat in Nassau. So anyways, next one. What is your favorite breakfast cereal, if you eat cereal?
I have been eating this Cheerios, but it's Cheerios with flakes and everything. I don't know. It's like deluxe.
Oh, okay.
It has all
Deluxe.
kinds of stuff. Yeah, it has all kinds of stuff in it, like maple and maple walnut or something. It doesn't have sugar. I mean,
does it have like almonds? I think I've seen that one. It has does it have almond pieces and granola?
Yeah, something like that.
Fancy Cheerios.
Yeah, that's like $5 a box now. So.
Oh, I know.
Listen, I got milk yesterday. It was $6.09.
Oh gosh.
Where? Publix?
No.
Oh.
Winn-Dixie of all places.
Forget it.
George Grossman is going to be having a fit if he knew I paid $6 for a gallon of milk.
Forget it.
That's
Forget it.
Okay. If you had to sing karaoke, what song would it be?
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang-a-ling. Don't you call you on the telephone, baby. Give me a ring. Each time you call, I get the same old thing. Oh, ain't no honky-tonky sing till I get a wedding ring.
Woo! Good one.
Jen Lee!
We gotta go. We gotta go karaoke.
Okay, Cindy, you hit a tune. Let me hear you hit a tune.
No, it's all right. That's a good question. I have to think of that. But we need to find a karaoke place.
Well, let's do it. I've never done.
Kick back a couple of cocktails, and I'll be ready.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm really.
Have you ever heard that song, Cindy, that she just sang?
No.
It's do you know what it is?
I've heard of it. I can't.
Satellites. It's Georgia Satellites, I believe, sings it.
I used to listen to quite a bit of country back in the day, but I haven't in a little while.
I used to roller skate to it.
Oh.
A long time ago.
Well, you went through our 5 questions pretty fast. I cannot believe you. I cannot believe you just sang. I'm literally like still, and the fact that this is gonna be on YouTube forever. Someone could listen to this and be like, "Wow, we need to get Jen Lee on tour."
That's right.
Can I tell you what I really appreciate about this moment is obviously I have a podcast and we talk. It's a little bit more serious. So with you ladies, I get to come back, share my story, but I also get to have like more lighthearted type conversation. And so it's refreshing for me. And so I, again, appreciate this opportunity for more than one reason. So thank you. You really made my night.
Oh, thank you.
Tammy Gibbs is saying hi. Do you know Tammy, right?
Tammy?
Of course.
Everybody knows Tammy.
Who doesn't know Tammy Gibbs? Legal Shield and ID Shield. Woo!
Ask her if she does karaoke. She can come too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, she loves the episode. Tammy, are you going to come sing karaoke? I bet she can get down with the honky tonk.
Oh, yeah.
She should sing a honky tonk badonkadonk, and we'll have Cindy walk across the stage.
Thanks a lot. Honky tonk.
Cindy will have to get you some cowgirl boots and a hat.
Oh, I love it. I've had it. I've been there. Done that. Bring it back.
Well, the only place that I know that does karaoke, and I've told Cindy this, Applebee's does it like Thursday night and Sunday night. Okay, Tammy says she'll come and watch and listen. Me too, Tammy. I'm not getting up and singing, but
after a few cocktails, maybe you'll get up.
Yeah,
no, not a chance. It will take a lot more than a few cocktails.
Oh,
I have to live in this county. Maybe if we went like far away and I'll never have to see these people again. But when you've lived in the same place for 30 years, you know people everywhere. I don't need anybody recording me and ending up on worst karaoke singer. I care too much about what people think. Yeah, TikTok for sure.
They might hear
Jen,
and you get canceled, so who knows?
No way. That was the best. Our views went up. More people tuned in. They heard you singing.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask for people, because you've been podcasting a little while, what would you say for those people that are interested? What's like a couple pieces of advice you would give? Because I think podcasting is like the new way of things. Like, no offense to those who do radio shows, but I think like it's just so interactive and it's like the thing. It's like, just with the times, things go with the punch, the roll with the punches. Absolutely. So what would you say learning wise for you with podcasting?
I'm completely self-taught. So to hear you say you liked my website, which I designed myself, I had no idea what I was doing.
It's great.
To say that, I truly appreciate that. I think number one, you should always be true to your brand. I think that's really important.
Having a brand is really important, because I think that if you're all over the place, people are like, me and Cindy are kind of figuring that out. And we at the end of the episode, so make sure people stay tuned. Cindy has a little announcement-ish
teaser.
But yeah, so Cindy is with Mary Kay, and I have my sugaring, and then we made Skinergy. So now sometimes I'll answer the phone. It's like, do I say Skinergy? Do I say Kristen Sugar Shack? So I know how important branding is. So we're gonna get it together. But I keep going. Branding is important. Staying true.
Yeah, and I belong to certain Facebook groups, and there's the consistent question of always, I'm trying to get all this together, and then I'll start. Why? Just do it. All I had when I started was my story, nothing else. I figured I could make that 2 episodes, which I did, right? That's why it's 2 episodes. So I at least knew I had 2 episodes. And then after that, I just worked for it. But why wait? Like, you have nothing to lose. It's your podcast. This is your podcast, right? There's nothing wrong because it is yours, however you decide to do it. So
Right.
that's the thing is, and I was really afraid of recording and editing. It intimidated me. So um, I made different decisions in the beginning, but finally I got over that intimidation and I decided, I want to learn how to do this. I want to stay true to my brand. I want to control my editing and all of these other things. So don't be intimidated. Believe me, if I can learn, you can learn.
Tammy Gibbs says, I think you learn more by doing. Definitely.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I did. And I jump
And
in.
you're making a business out of it, which is a lot of people, a lot of not so much ours, but that's a lot of, I know, podcasters' goal or dream. Because once you do podcasting, it's fun. It's fun to sit on here. It's fun to talk. I mean, there is work to it. Like, I think people maybe not realize the work that comes with podcasting. But I mean, it would be great to just sit and chat, and that's what you get paid to do for a living. So I think that's so fun and so great. And I think joining those groups is important, and I'm sure you've learned a lot, like the actual podcasting meets, and you
Yes, I'm
told
going
me like
to
a
Podfest. I'm going to Podfest. I
what a
am so
thing.
excited. It is the end of the month. It's 4 days in Orlando. And it is like huge, like thousands of people. Like, it is a huge event. And I scored a free ticket and I am so excited to be going to
Is it
that.
at the convention center?
Hilton. Said,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
nice. Well,
That
you'll
is,
have
That's
to definitely
great.
let us know how that goes. The podcasting, that's how big podcasting is. There's conventions, 4-day conventions. That's like
yeah,
a lot. Is
yeah.
there 4-day radio show conventions? Maybe 20 years ago.
I
I
used
just
to
like
sell
giving her a
radio
hard
ads.
time.
Yeah, I used to sell radio ads, believe it or not.
You have a good talking voice. When you do your podcast, I think one of my favorite things, I love your intro with like little snips of people's talking. Um, the way you put in your commercials, like your ads, and that's a lot of thing, that's a big deal. Like, I don't think people realize unless you know about podcasting. Like, I can tell just by listening to one episode how much work you put into your podcast. I mean, the professionalism in your podcast is amazing. So I definitely applaud you for that. And I think you're right. Me and Cindy, it was a learning experience. You could ask her how many times I said, we should have a podcast before we actually had a podcast. I kind of bugged her quite a bit. But we decided to just have fun with it. And if, we get busy, like we don't want to put so much pressure. And I think that I hope our audience can see that we want to give content that isn't just like, oh, we got to do it because it's Monday. Like, if we take a week off, we take a week off. If we want to have people on, such as yourself, that are important and we feel like our listeners will get something out of and that we enjoy and want to spend an hour on a Monday night talking to. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, and we
Yes.
always
Thank you.
appreciate our listeners. And for those, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch, and you can listen to Jen Lee sing that little jingle over and over and over on YouTube. And click the
And
like button and let us know that you liked your song.
Wait till my husband hears that.
and don't forget, I Need Blue podcast. When is your next one coming on? I know you were working on it.
Yeah, in 1 week, because May, as you
Okay.
mentioned, is actually Foster Care Awareness Month.
Right.
And so I will have two. The next one, actually, my guest, JC, she survived foster care system. She's out in LA. And it's accompanied with a CASA who is also out in LA. It's a fabulous episode. Looking forward to it. And there'll be another one then later in the month as well. So I release episodes every 2 weeks. So next
Oh,
Monday
nice.
will be the next new one. I think that'll be episode like 27,
Wow.
something like that.
Fantastic.
I know. I feel like me and Cindy will have to come up with a number and then have our season 2 because I think it's fun when I see like season 2. Did you take a break between season 1 and season 2?
I just started
Oh,
a new year. And so I just
oh,
decided, oh, it's a new year. So I might just as well, I'm glad you like my intro. They're all my guests. And I just,
yeah, I love it. The thing that was interesting to me is when I went back and listened to episode 1, you still had like it was all the snippets. I'm like, wait, did I miss? But then I like, of course, listened to Ivy's and then anyway. So did you make your first video and then go back and add the intro later on?
Yes, I constantly, that is the thing, is you never stop learning. I never stop learning. I'm always constantly redoing something or improving or learn how to do this. Inserting the ads is just something I learned like probably a month and a half ago. Putting in the music in the middle and everything. I was like, hey, I got to take it a step up. Like, it's okay to start out at the beginning and you're learning, right? Just put together an episode, put it out there.
Right.
And then as you learn, you can go back and refine and all of those other things. It's fine, you know. I just, if people want to do it, just do it, and
Right.
it'll
Yeah.
come. As Tammy says, you learn by doing, right, Tammy?
Right. For sure. Just do it.
Just do it.
As Nike says, just do it. We don't want to get banned for taking credit for something we didn't say. But anyways, Jenly, we want to say thank you and we hope you have a great night. And I know we changed our time, so I hope people aren't like, at 9:30. So
No.
we hope you have a great week and we thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll see you around. Me and Cindy have quite a busy May, but I'm sure we'll see you shortly.
Of course.
So
Of course.
definitely.
Absolutely. Thank
So.
you for giving me the space.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
let's give you a shout out. May 24th, you're going to be speaking at the ABWA dinner. We're looking for that as well. Looking forward to that.
We'll be there
That's gonna be
cheering you
great.
on, okay?
Absolutely.
If
Of
you get
course.
nervous, just think of Cindy naked, not me, because you might be like, be distracted. But Cindy, you know what I'm saying? To get the butterflies out of your head.
It might be no pants day. I'm not sure.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't it no pants?
Or she,
Have you
or
ever
she could
seen
think of
somebody in
Wahlberg.
flesh? Oh,
Wahlberg.
yeah. I'll hold like a little sign up of him.
I will die. I'll have my little Barbie dolls, but they're Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie.
Yeah, I do. We could do another episode.
Now,
All
which
about
band
Donnie
was
Wahlberg.
which band was he in? Because I always get those bands mixed up.
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. New Kids on the Block.
I'm sure she could sing a tune of New Kids on the Block.
I could.
It's okay, Jen.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen.
And have a great evening.
And remember, next week, her I Need Blue podcast for sure.
So, Cindy, you got something?
Okay,
to
so
say?
it's a little bit of a teaser. This Skinergy has a big announcement to make, but stay tuned.
That's the teaser.
Yeah, I'm not giving it away, but it's something huge. Exciting.
That's something that the Grossmans say. Huge. Do you forget the it's huge. So, but thank you guys always. I think that we moved the time 30 minutes later and I'm a little delirious. That's why I'm being a little goofy. But
all right.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Have a good week. We'll see you next Monday.
Or if we don't, we hope you guys
We'll be here. We'll be here. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
And happy birthday to Cindy. Oh yeah, we're gonna be here next Monday. We have a Cindy special. She doesn't know it yet. That's the teaser. Cindy's special. So please tune in to tell Cindy happy birthday. And make sure you tell your mothers that you love them.
Happy Mother's Day. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Shout out Tracy, my mother. Love you. Do you want to give your mom a shout out?
Celia.
Yes, Celia. And my stepmom, Judy. And my mom.
There you go.
And me. Can I get a shout out, Cindy? Jeez.
Hey, happy Mother's Day, Kristen.
Okay. Oh, Jen Lee. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Bye, guys. Now I feel like I'm making a fool of myself.
Goodbye.